Your uncle was a traitor who betrayed Kwame Nkrumah. We a historian be a friend Anokye. Na wakwa GTV so. Akwa kanadwin akire eye Torkornoo. Na azambe na aba. Mukai say recently Torkornoo eba beka nsem bebre in a press conference ya oba beye we all heard what she said niade nsem bebre. Na historian Anokye abe reacted to it. I don't want to waste much time. Yentie the kind of history they are to form and in some more kind. And after watching this video, you will also understand the reason in here. MPP party no dankwa dombo buzia no. They don't just like Nkrumah on person mu pan history fi Ghana bakosemu. I'm coming.
The effect that any act of a Supreme Court judge, including the Chief Justice, will be questioned. So it will affect them and positively because they will have to set up that whatever you are doing. Can you imagine that this lady sat down with her accountant or finance officer, signed for money, traveled to Arusha, Tanzania, and it has become part of the petition that should tell you that wherever you are, there is a third eye watching you. And that is why it will help judges after this decision to set up and do their work well, those who are not doing their work well.
Right, we'll go to our next slide, but she did talk about having retired or, reconciled some of those accounts in her statement. But we'll go to the next one on the screen where she talked about irregularities and illegalities, and this was her quote: "The violations have not stopped but have escalated beyond anything I could have imagined as possible in justice delivery." And this is one of her key points. The Edu Lodge facility that I'm being tried in featured very prominently in the planning of the murder of judges on June 30th, 1981. Was Edu Lodge chosen for this inquiry to make me feel insecure? I think so. Those are the words of Gertrude Torkornoo yesterday. She said Edu Lodge was chosen to kind of throw her off her game a little bit, to borrow, for lack of a better expression. I wonder if CAF has any questions for you on that.
Well, says the violations have not stopped but have escalated beyond anything I could have imagined as possible in justice. This one she shouldn't have said because she has no evidence to back it. When it comes to Edu Lodge, where she alleges
she said he was her uncle. She stayed there for years, and it was a key, one of the places that were prominent in the planning and the murder of
so
her
she
uncle.
has no evidence to back it. She has no evidence. In fact, where in the history of Ghana, which textbook, which law case has ever brought up the Edu Lodge as a place that was used to plan the execution of the judges? Completely, it's not backed by any evidence whatsoever. Again, if you knew, if the Chief Justice in her life, and she's not a young person, she's old enough, she's past 63 or so. So if a person like this, who was old enough in 1981, knew that there was a planning to murder judges at that place, and she took no step and had decided to sit back until today, then she's a very dangerous citizen of this country. Yes, very, very dangerous. You knew all these things when those culprits involved had at all material times denied. And what is so worrisome is that being the Chief Justice of Ghana, every year you preside over the service that is held in honor of the judges. Preside over it. As a judge, you have gone there many times, and as a Chief Justice, you preside over at least twice. And now you come and tell us that you know all that happened, and you decided to keep quiet. In fact, I believe that Madame is doing a big injustice to herself. And as my colleague said, there are certain things. You have a family, a husband, and children, and classmates, and church, everything. You don't have to come and do this in public. You see, until she did that, until she did that, I didn't even know that her direct uncle, father's elder brother, was this man who betrayed Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Kwame who took money from the CIA, and he was the most trusted confidant of Nkrumah, and told Kwame Nkrumah that Nkrumah should travel, there would be no coup, because CIA had promised him to make him the next president of Ghana. That man's niece is this man. Until all this man, I wouldn't have known. So she should not sleep in those lives. Whether she likes it or not, she will not be the Chief Justice of Ghana forever. You should understand that.
Next slide on our screen, please.
So we came to do the change today.
She talked about breach of rules of disclosure, and this is what she said. The Article 146 committee set up against me has refused to give me copies of the petitions. To date, the committee has refused and or failed to serve on me the petitions that form the basis of the hearing and any specific charges against me. Let's take the next one, and then we will continue. And she said that no record of the petition or the petitioner's case has also been filed. This is what she said. The committee has not only permitted 2 of the petitioners, Mr. Daniel Ofori and a group calling itself Shining Stars, not to testify and confirm on oath the petitions they have brought against me, but has also allowed them not to call anyone to testify on their behalf. So as we speak, there is nothing before the committee confirming the petitions brought by these 2 petitioners.
You see, what is wrong here is that in the case of the court, we know that our symbol is the scale, and it is.
And all credit to Ghana television. And you know, when a message, you know, now you see why these people, they don't like a Kwame Nkrumah. You see the reason they came and they want to erase Kwame Nkrumah history. You see? Some Crawford and Nkrumah time bo or mutu Nkrumah by Guyano. That same people never did so for 80 years, no. Which Torkornoo was part. Anything in Nkrumah, they hate it. Or they just hate him for no reason. Anything in Nkrumah or mumpe. They don't like. Na yenda na nado bedi president e renovate Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. Na mu pese mu pipa Kwame Nkrumah history. Edru baby 2 Ghana series note no cry. How many times na one who say the note no? Because Kwame Nkrumah nkwanda so no. We want to on pese o mu erase news ask no cry check. 1111 first now boo. Meme ye president ndi anka Ghana sika na nyina so nka Kwame Nkrumah na ebeda so. Meme ye president ka me yes kana ka metwa Ghana map tie me president and ka metwa Ghana map with all the towns and cities in Ghana na me de Kwame Nkrumah ti atoso na me de Independence Square account tina Ghana map no wa chiri na Independence Square no Kwame Nkrumah so danim Ghana sika nyina so nka Kwame Nkrumah na beda so me ye ne se dollar no George Washington se one Washington na so no sana nka me ye. Every money in Ghana, it will be Ghana map, Independence Square, and Kwame Nkrumah. These 3 things tanga me yesikano. Now, apart from Nkrumah, some for 5 no more that big 6 no so. What was their contribution? Who designed that money? But that same person, no Kunji Ghana, no, they want to erase his what? His legacy, which is bad. Mimi wo tumi bia nka Ghana sika Nkrumah nkwan Independence Square ne Ghana map na ebeda so ko bia ni wo medi meka Charlie MPP titi MPP no omu na tu Nkrumah gu ye no current MPP no omu na titi MPP na generate abedru na ado no mutan omu ni Torkornoo no